Thinking about the future is very important. The world around us is changing at a remarkable speed. New technologies emerge quickly. Global situations shift like the sands. If we do not look ahead, we may not be ready for these changes. Preparation is key to navigating the years to come. By imagining what 2035 could look like, we can start to understand the challenges and opportunities. This helps us make informed decisions today. It allows us to build a better tomorrow for everyone, not just for ourselves. Understanding potential futures is the first step towards shaping them. Contemplating different future scenarios empowers us. It helps individuals, communities, and entire nations make wiser choices in the present moment. When we consider various possibilities, we can identify potential risks. We can also spot promising pathways. This foresight allows us to plan more effectively. For example, governments can develop better policies. Businesses can create more sustainable strategies. People can learn new skills that will be useful in the future. Thinking about what lies ahead is not just an exercise in imagination. It is a practical tool for building resilience and fostering progress in an ever-evolving global landscape. The year 2035 might seem distant, but it is only a decade away. The decisions we make right now, in 2025, will significantly shape the world our children and we will inhabit then. It is crucial to ask ourselves what kind of world we truly desire. Do we want a world of greater cooperation or one of increased division? Do we envision a future where technology solves our biggest problems or one where it creates new ones? The actions taken by governments, companies, and individuals today will lay the foundation for the realities of 2035. Therefore, conscious choices are more important than ever. This exploration will delve into 3 distinct possibilities for our world in 2035. Each scenario presents a different set of circumstances and challenges. One path shows countries working together, but slowly. Another imagines a world where China holds the most influence. A third path considers the severe impacts of accelerating climate change. By examining these potential futures, we can gain a clearer understanding of the forces at play. This understanding can help us navigate the complexities that lie ahead. It is a way to prepare our minds and our societies for what is to come, and to work towards the most positive outcomes. In one possible future for 2035, the world experiences reluctant international cooperation. The existing rules-based global order continues, but it feels stagnant and slow. International institutions like the United Nations, the World Bank, and the World Health Organization still function. However, they face constant pressure for reform. Countries such as China, Russia, India, and Brazil push for more say in how things are run. Major global powers, like the United States and China, manage their rivalries carefully. They avoid large-scale conflicts, but compete in many areas. Global trade continues to grow, often through regional agreements rather than worldwide deals. Progress on big issues is incremental and sometimes frustratingly slow. Daily life in this future would see technology advance, but perhaps not as rapidly as some might hope. Smart devices and digital services would be widespread. However, the lack of strong global agreement might mean different standards in different regions. Imagine your smart home devices working seamlessly in your country, but facing compatibility issues if you move abroad. Artificial intelligence would be integrated into many aspects of life, from healthcare to transportation. Yet, a major bioweapon scare in 2029, potentially enhanced by AI, would lead to increased caution. This event would prompt new global biosecurity measures, making international travel and research more regulated. The environment in a world of reluctant cooperation would see mixed results. Nations would acknowledge the threat of climate change. They would continue to expand renewable energy sources like solar and wind power. Nuclear energy might also see a resurgence. However, the overall decarbonization effort would be slow. Fossil fuels would still play a significant role in the energy mix, partly due to rising energy demands from data centers and AI. Global climate targets might be missed. Instead, countries might focus on regional pacts and local adaptation measures. The 2029 bioweapon threat would shift significant global attention towards biosecurity, leading to the creation of new international agencies dedicated to preventing future biological threats. Overall, life in 2035 under this scenario would feel relatively stable, yet lacking dynamism. People would adapt to a world where progress comes in small, careful steps. There might be widespread frustration with the slow pace of change on critical global issues. However, The continued, albeit reluctant, cooperation between major powers would likely prevent the outbreak of large-scale wars. Russia, weakened after a negotiated peace in Ukraine around 2026, would have less influence on the global stage. The world would muddle through, making incremental reforms and relying on cautious diplomacy to navigate a complex geopolitical landscape. This future is one of continued effort, but without bold, transformative breakthroughs in global governance. Another possible future for 2035 sees China becoming the world's most influential power. In this scenario, China surpasses the United States in diplomatic, military, economic, and technological strength. Beijing actively reshapes international norms and institutions to better align with its own preferences and ideologies. This could mean a global system that places less emphasis on Western-style democratic values. The United States might turn more inward, focusing on domestic issues. Its traditional alliances could weaken as countries reassess their global partnerships. China would likely become the largest trading partner for many nations, including those in Europe, with the renminbi gaining prominence in international transactions. Daily life in a China-led world would experience significant shifts. Chinese technology platforms, from social media to e-commerce, could become dominant globally. This might mean a different internet experience for many, potentially with more content controls and surveillance. Data privacy norms could change, reflecting different cultural and political values. Artificial intelligence development would likely be spearheaded by Chinese companies, influencing everything from smart cities to autonomous vehicles. The widespread use of the renminbi could simplify trade with China, but might also give Beijing greater economic leverage over other nations. Achieving control over Taiwan through non-military means would be a significant geopolitical marker of this era. The environment and global impact under Chinese ascendancy would present a complex picture. China could become a leader in the manufacturing and deployment of green technologies, given its industrial capacity. Its Belt and Road Initiative would continue to shape infrastructure development across many countries, potentially with a greater emphasis on sustainability if China chooses. However, the global push for human rights and democratic governance might recede. International bodies could see their mandates reoriented to reflect new priorities set by Beijing. Countries might find themselves navigating a world where economic opportunities are tied to aligning with China's geopolitical stance, potentially impacting their foreign policy and internal values. The overall atmosphere in this future would be one of profound transformation. The shift in global power would create new dynamics and challenges. Some might see increased efficiency and development driven by China's strong, centralized direction and long-term planning. Others might lament the erosion of individual freedoms and democratic principles on a global scale. International relations would be fundamentally altered, with new power blocks forming and old alliances evolving or dissolving. Nations and individuals would need to adapt to a world where the rules and norms are increasingly shaped by a non-Western superpower, bringing both new opportunities and significant adjustments to the established global order. A third, more troubling future for 2035 is one where climate change accelerates beyond previous predictions. In this scenario, critical environmental tipping points are reached. The Amazon rainforest could experience significant drying. Antarctic ice melt could speed up, and vital ocean currents like the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation might slow dramatically. These changes would lead to more frequent and intense extreme weather events globally. By 2035, an estimated 150 million people could become climate migrants, displaced by rising sea levels, droughts, or other environmental disasters. This mass movement of people would inevitably strain resources and could fuel local conflicts and even state failures. Daily life in this climate of fear scenario would be marked by constant adaptation and crisis. Fortified borders would become more common as nations try to manage the flow of climate migrants. Cities, especially coastal ones, would invest heavily in new infrastructure like seawalls and improved drainage systems. However, some regions might become increasingly uninhabitable, forcing communities to relocate. Food security would be a major concern due to disrupted agriculture. Populist movements could rise as societies become more stressed and fearful. Democracies might weaken under the pressure, with some people calling for more authoritarian measures to deal with the escalating crises. Radical solutions like geoengineering through solar radiation modification might be implemented without full global agreement, creating new ethical dilemmas. Technology would play a dual role in this challenging future. Artificial intelligence would be crucial for modeling climate change, predicting disasters, and coordinating response efforts. Advanced agricultural technologies would be essential for maintaining food supplies. However, the energy demand from AI and data centers could further exacerbate the climate problem if not powered by clean sources. Renewable and nuclear energy sources would expand rapidly out of necessity, but the scale of the transition might struggle to keep pace with both rising energy needs and the urgency of decarbonization. Biosecurity, already a concern, would remain a high priority as changing climates could also affect disease patterns and create new health threats. Despite these daunting possibilities, it is crucial to remember that these futures are not predetermined. The path to 2035 is still being paved by the choices we make today. Education about climate change and its impacts is fundamental. Investing in scientific research and technological innovation can provide us with new tools and solutions. International cooperation, even if difficult, remains our best hope for tackling global challenges like climate change and biosecurity. Every individual, community, and nation has a role to play in building resilience, fostering sustainable practices, and advocating for policies that lead to a more equitable and stable world. By focusing on our shared humanity and collective ingenuity, we can strive to navigate the complexities ahead and build a better future for all.